Hey Internet, it's Katie, and I had a really fun experience today. My students were having, I guess, like study hall in an empty computer room that's been reset up as kind of a news studio. So there's a desk, and there's a green screen, and there's a place to set up a camera, and all that good stuff. And they were just being silly, and they saw me reading my book, and they said, "Hey, let's interview Miss R about her book." And I was reading The Once and Future King, which, if you haven't read it, is a King Arthur telling. It's very strange. And so they were, asking me what it was about, and I was telling them, and they were like, "So why are you reading this book?" They said, "If you've already read it, why are you reading it again?" And I said, "Well, I can't really remember what happened. I was in like 9th grade last time I read it." And they said, "Well, why do you need to remember?" And my response was that, it's an important fantasy classic. A lot of fantasy novels are based on it in construction or in style or in whatever. And it was important, since I read a lot of fantasy novels, for me to know where those fantasy novels are coming from. And so one of the students says, "Why do you like to read fantasy so much?" And I gave the short answer of the actual reason, but what it really sums down to is, because I read a lot of fantasy novels, I said something along the lines of, I really like fantasy because sometimes through magic or things that aren't real, you can better understand things that are. And I didn't get a chance to expand on it, but I saw one of the kids nodding. I think she got what I was saying. And like in Harry Potter, the main theme of the series is that love conquers everything. Okay, and there's this whole thing with how Lily's love is built, like it's in Harry's blood, so that Voldemort can't touch it. Like physically, there's magic there. But in real life, that's true too. Love overcomes everything. Love overcame... Sorry, I'm about to get kind of religious here. Love overcame death on the cross. A man who was good and pure sacrificed his life so that others could live. Love overcomes everything. And that's something that's really hard to keep in your mind. As a Christian, it's really hard for us to hold in our minds how exactly love overcomes death. The fact that there's going to be eternal life. But in Harry Potter, it's right there on the page. It's literally happening through magic. And so what I like about fantasy novels, and I'm sorry to use a Christian example if you're not a Christian, but hopefully you can still understand what I'm saying, is that through fantasy novels, through magic, we can more concretely understand the truths of life that aren't concrete. And I think that there's something really special about that. And that's why I read so many fantasy novels. That's why they bring so much joy to life, plus there's the bonus of dragons. How do you not love dragons? And I just think there's something really special to be said about the way that we can understand our world better by reading about a world that doesn't exist and that has different rules. I think that's so cool.